Hello friends, family and other creatures of the sea. Welcome to a best of 3 between two fantastic video gamers. In the bottom right, our gamer is called Roach, and in the top left, our cyber athlete is Percival, whom I'm personally a big fan of. Look at this. Roach says, if life gives me lemon, I make lemonade. And he sends a bunch of links across the map here at an instant. Loses the drone to the Reaper SCV, but Percival wasn't born yesterday. He just sends his Reaper back home to catch these links. Sadly, barely misses them, and the links are going to make their way across the map. Let's see what his Reaper's plans are. We get the swap off the factory. Rogue realizes that the Reaper isn't there anymore and decides to go home with those links. That's unfortunate, because these links actually could have dealt some serious damage. Maybe killed a mule, definitely could have killed an SCV or something along those lines. Instead, these links are going to make their way back home. Reaper, once again, is going to move home as well. Ooh, we get a catch maybe here on this Reaper. Nope, we're not going to get that. No, we are going to get that. Percival with a very slow response. Yeah, it's an exciting match. Percival, up-and-comer. Rogue, of course, I think he's a 3-time world champion. He won BlizzCon and Intel Extreme Masters Katowice twice. BlizzCon 2017, Katowice 2017, and I want to say Intel Extreme Masters Katowice 2020 as well, if I'm not mistaken. So it's, yeah, they're definitely a player that knows how to win. Percival, a player that knows how to hit timings, though. Not sure what's more important. Timings are a big deal, and Percival is the king of them. Something that I've heard the Zerg player say even before Percival was considered to be a serious competitor. It's like, this guy hits timings really tight, and then he falls apart from the 7-minute mark on. I remember people telling me that 8-9 months ago, and then here we are, now he's still hitting those timings and he's not falling apart anymore. All of a sudden he's a pretty scary opponent. Crazy how that works. A couple of queens are out already. We have mainly queens walking towards the third base with a fourth queen on the way as well. Lair coming up in the main. Some mining going on in these gases. Love to see it. As the lair starts as well. Banshee plus cloak. We have barracks 2. And I think barracks 3 here coming in as well. And then the follow-up gases, of course. The thing I'm most curious about is really what Rogue is going to do. I don't really care what Percival's plan is, because usually it is quite standard. This time he went for 6 Hellion into 3 barracks. Like, this is nothing revolutionary. Like, this is not going to win the Nobel Prize for innovation, if that had existed. It doesn't, but, you know, if there was an innovative StarCraft 2 build order, Nobel Prize, I don't even think Percival would make the shortlist, to be honest. He's not the type of guy to invent stuff, you know? He makes things slightly better, and then he executes them extraordinarily well. That is his forte. That is where he shines. And he does well what he shines at. Nice sentence. Alright, Spire comes down in the natural. So most likely gonna be Mutas. If this is Corruptor, I'll actually eat a shoe. And I'll actually eat 2 shoes. Because there's a 0% chance that this is a Spire for Corruptor Lingbane. I mean, there might be Corruptors eventually with the to deal with Liberators if this game goes long, but this is not like a Corruptor rush. That's what I'm trying to say. If it is though, that would be, you know, that might just win the Nobel Prize for innovative StarCraft 2 build order, because these Bench are trying to get a couple of kills. Instead they're taking a lot of damage. Right on the chin. We'll get a queen. No, they won't get a queen. Let's get a whole lot done here, except being annoying. Sometimes being annoying is enough, though. Just putting on a little bit of pressure, scaring the opponents. The Benches try to go back in. I mean, these Benches are gone. They're done for. They need to go back home. They need to repair up. They're out of energy. They're out of everything. I think the best thing you can hope for them right now is that they can stop some counterattacks. Spire must have been scouted, because no, it hasn't been scouted. He just gets a turret here. So a turret at the third base. That is interesting. So that means that Percival is somewhat aware as to what is kicking off. He just doesn't fully commit to it either. Something that, by the way, Terran players used to do back in the day is they would, in PvT, in TVP specifically, they would build turrets and they'd finish them at like 99%. And then if they would be playing against an Oracle Rush, they would finish the turret. And if they wouldn't be playing against an Oracle Rush, they would just cancel the turret. And I always thought that is such a cute little solution you know, to the problem. Like, you get a bit of the money back. Of course, you lose the mining time of the SCV that was building the turret, but it's like an insurance policy. You know, you're not fully committing to buying the thing new, but you're gonna have some safety in case it is going to be these air units. So not something we're seeing here right now, though. Is Muta count is actually pretty freaking gnarly. We get a scan, sees that there's about 11 Mutas out, and Rogue instantly sends everything across the map, which is crazy as there's nothing defensively here. Usually when you go for this type of base trade, you either have a 5th base that you can you can send your drones to, or you have some banelings on creep that can defend against marines. However, Rogue seems to have neither of those things. So Rogue is going for this counterattack without any safety at home. And funnily enough here, Percival's playing it kind of slow, because Percival, he probably thinks that Rogue has made these preparations that I was talking about earlier. Percival's like, okay, I just need to take it slow because Rogue probably has banelings that are about to roll in further forward. However, this couldn't be further from the truth. Instead, we have 17 Mutalisk. There's only 3 banelings out. 11 more, yes, they're on the way. Centrifugal Hook's about to finish up here as well. It's only 2 medevacs. I think this push is gonna get blasted, but the damage has been dealt already in my mind. 4th base being taken out like that. No upgrades coming in quite yet for the Zerg either. And even if this entirely gets blasted, like it actually ends up doing this, I mean, this push gets completely destroyed. I think this is kind of okay for Percival here. He's going to be up 2 upgrades for probably the entirety of this game, or at least a very, very sizable portion of this game. He is okay against the Muta harass. Doesn't have a crazy amount of marines, doesn't have a crazy amount of turrets, but he has enough turrets. He's adding in a 4th VC as well. I'd love to see 1 or 2 extra turrets being added somewhere into the main base. I always feel like that's very helpful. We have a Thor out already, which is going to be great at just moving these Mutas into directions where you want them to. So we have this little army. Oh, it's gonna get 2 Muta kills here. Nice target fire as well out of Percival. Some Brood War-esque control there. Right-clicking those individual Mutas. 3 more barracks are coming in. We have combat shield up. And usually, in this type of situation, by the way, when we have the TVZ Muta type of play... Oh, hold that thought. We have a bit of a baneling run by. Trying to kill some depots, but with 4 you're not going to quite get that done. Usually what happens is that we get some type of 2-2 timing attack out of the Terran. The reason why we get that is because Terran becomes extraordinarily strong once they get 2-2 attack. They usually also have a much higher supply than they do with 1-1. You know, they'll do a 1-1 push at maybe 95 or 100 supply, but the moment you have 2-2 against Muta, you're still going to be up at least 2 upgrades, and most of the time, because you have such a big army, those upgrades really freaking matter. So it's just a timing attack that is extraordinarily strong. And we see this double drop now coming in. It's going to go into the main base. This is not merely a distraction, like he really did want to deal some damage with it, but it also works as a distraction at the same time. The pickup there wasn't as clean as he would have liked to, and it was a distraction to try and get this move out going, this 2-2 timing that I was talking about, the landing of the 4th base at the same time as well. All of this is happening at, well, pretty much the same time. We do have a fairly low amount of turrets into the main base. We have 1 over here, 2 in the main mineral line, and there's 2 over here on the 3rd as well. I really am starting to become a little bit afraid of these Muta numbers here. Once they get +1 and you add these 5 Mutas, we're going up to 23 +1 Mutalisk. There's not going to be building armor quite yet. You'll need good splits over here. Like, you can't just have like 8 Marines into this area and then hope for, you know, everything to be fine. No, that's not what's going to happen here. These Mutas need to be dealt with very, very accurately. Solid army split. It's yeah, a couple more turrets here being added into the main base. I just think this is correct. You could say, yeah, that's a bit much, but I'd rather build 4 or 5 more turrets and deal with this without losing 25 SCVs and all of my reactors on my barracks. Just think it's much better. Hive comes in here right now as well. So we have this pre-split coming out of Rogue. Bunch of Banes on the right side, Ling Muta on the left. Carapace is going to start for the Mutaliskis. So the creature has also continued pushing further and further forward, which is actually quite nice. I'm a big fan of that. Ooh, pure Ling. Couple of Banes here to deal with this army. It's not going to work. This base is toast, I think. Don't really think you can defend that with such a small amount of Banelings. Although, first of all, without a stim, it's not the strongest. Okay, no cancel on that. Can we get target fire? No, we don't. No target fire at all. As a result, this is going to get picked up here. And we move towards the middle, which just seems ridiculous. It's going to fly straight into those Mutas coming back from their little endeavor across the map. This was a terrible fight here for Percival. I liked a lot of the moves before this, but this just wasn't good. His marine count is pathetic as well in this army. He's going to need some more bio to help him, but this was actually fairly poorly executed. There were only 3 banelings in this army. They should have been targeted down as they came running at his marine force. Instead, he was forced to pick up, and then he decided to drop towards the creep into the middle as he knew that mutas were somewhere floating around this general area. This is just bad awareness of what is going on in the game, and I mean, he paid a price for it. He lost a little bit of momentum there, gave his opponent a bit more time to perhaps get that Ultra Cavern out, get those 2-2 upgrades as well. Let's not forget, like, the upgrade count is so freaking good right now for Percival, and it's going to remain being good as well. There's going to be a bit of a timing even, where +3 finishes maybe? Is that true? Nah, it's going to be very short, like maybe 10 seconds or so. Maybe not even the case. No, they actually finish at exactly the same time. Look at that. The 3-3 and the 2-2. That is crazy. And it does mean that there's going to be about, what, like 2.5 more minutes of upgrade leads here for Percival. He has a pretty sizable force as well. Mutaling is going to clear this. That is a big deal. Mine tries to burrow. He's got a decent hit there. A couple of links going down. More mines now moving in further forward as the Muta still being active here as well. Not enough is being sent towards the left side. I think Mutas can just deal with this. However, can the Baneling army deal with the right side force? Actually, I think the answer to that is also yes. As Rogue is finding some, not a whole lot of damage, but he's finding some time at least. He's finding a little bit of damage, you know, denying the mine count. Although we're already at 15, holy crap. There's so many factory units here. 15 mines, 3 Thors. Almost makes me feel like the bioforce isn't big enough. 10 Marauders, 17 Marines. +3 vehicle plating coming in as well. It's going to help, of course, against the Muta bounces, against the Lynx, trying to deal with these Thors as well. Once the Ultras come out, however, they have slightly higher like damage. It just isn't as impactful anymore. Against Banelings, it doesn't help either, of course. So the longer you go, like the less valuable these armor upgrades just become for the Terran. It's always good against the Lynx, but yeah, Banelings generally don't really care. As the Mutas are going to force this army back as well. I think it's going to get all of these medevacs, to be honest. Just don't think there's any way that Percival's going to escape with these bad boys. Tries to lower them back onto the ground, stims away, but everything here is going to die. At the same time, left side base is being taken out. So we're actually in a situation right now where Percival is down in bank. Seems to have a very weirdly split army, but he's up in bases. And by quite a bit as well. He's adding in more orbitals here too. So it's going to go up to 5 orbital. He wants to get his 6th planetary down already. Has a decent, this is a good setup. 4 turrets and a planetary mine in the back as well. Like, I'm actually really liking what Percival's doing here. Just feels to me like, well, the resource loss is also okay. He's just lacking in the bank department a bit. He needs a bit more cash, okay? Needs a little bit more cash to get things going properly. Liberator comes out here as well. Ghost is going to get sent further forward. With this weird little army splits. Comically small. Like really funny. Not in a ha-ha-ha way, but just like, huh, that's funny. Why would you do that? It feels like Rogue really wants to do something, but it also feels like he doesn't really know what. Oh, depot lift. Not in time. Not in time. Still not in... Okay, there we go. Rogue gave him a couple of chances there to go for that depot lift. Overseer count is growing massively, by the way. So this is turning into one of Rogue's classic mass Overseer games. Although more Mutas also being added into the mix, so it's a bit of both, really. Mass Muta, mass Overseer. Huh. What a day to be alive. Fusion core coming in. Okay, now this is a reactor. For a second I was afraid that this was going to be BCs and that Percival had lost his mind. I'd hate to have to do a welfare check all the way from the Netherlands to Korea. But you know, if a man starts building BCs against mass Muta, then it's definitely the time. Ghost is actually doing a decent job as well against these Ultras. Pew pews going off as the Thors are helping out too. We're going to get a lift up. Muta's now returning back home to deal with some of the leftover ghosts. I just feel like every single time I look at Percival's army, it just looks pathetic. Like, I don't understand why that is. Is it too many mines, maybe? 14 mines? There's a 30 supply in mines. He's building 3 more. 36 supply mines. He's getting more liberators into the mix. What's the medevac count? 6. Like, this is almost a maxed out army, but it's such a weak looking one. Like, this does not look like an army that you want to be a part of. Like, if the mines don't connect, aren't you just toast? Yeah, you are. The answer is yes. We've got nukes coming in right now. God, I freaking love nukes in a video game. The mines are running further forward. Not a whole lot defensively around these ends, which could be a problem. Get a scan, more mines borrowing as well. Turrets being targeted down. Like, this is one of those things that I almost feel like you don't expect. Like, you've already killed 25 mutas. Are you really expecting 24 more to still be on the map? And the answer is yes, because he sees it with his mine right now. I mean, ghosts are actually fantastic as well against mutas. A single snipe kills a muta. People don't often realize that, but the ghost is such a solid counter to the muta. The ghost is really a solid counter to many of the Zerg units. It's good against the Ultra, good against the Ling. It's fine against Banelings. Great against Infestor. Love it against the Broodlord. Roach, hell yeah. Lurkers, Hydras, boom. Vipers, out of the sky, baby. Oh. 7 base under heavy fire. At the same time, we have a Ling run by that's dealing some serious damage on the left side as well. This is why I almost always feel like that later on, getting a planetary near your 3rd base isn't really a luxury anymore. It's like... It's almost a necessity. Actually, it is a necessity, I think. I think you should just get a planetary near your 3rd base. It just helps so much. Turrets are here, but I'm not sure how useful they're going to be against these, 2-1 Mutalisk. If you have... these turrets are a bit spread. This is actually fine, because the mutas now are coming in. Look at this. Oh. Very, very close there. Like, if these mutas move a little bit further north and you get, like, 10, 12 snipes going, like, you're looking at a very different game. These ghosts are being chased around by a bunch of changelings. That means that at all times right now, Rogue knows what's going on with these ghosts. Oh, this feels scary. The army count, once again, for Percival is actually looking quite bad. 154 here as the ghosts try to move back. Cannot really see what's happening in this fight, but it doesn't feel like it's going very well here for the Terran players. Majority of the ghosts are being killed. It's usually not what you want, because it's a very important and a very expensive part of your force as well. Let's not forget about that. Ghosts cost a lot of money. Very gas heavy. Now, there's plenty of gas in the bank still. There's also plenty of bases. Like, whenever I look at this game, I feel like Percival is winning. You know, it's like you look at the mini-maps, like there's not a lot of creep. Like there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 bases for Percival. I mean, this thing should probably die at some point. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Like, the bases are completely split right through the middle. I think Percival is more likely to take this base than Rogue is to take this one. Like, but then whenever I look at the army and how the fights are going, like, Rogue is just winning. And Rogue also has so many opportunities to do fun things. He's adding in 7 more mutas right now. It's going to go up to 30. And he just keeps going back into muta. And I feel like Percival's kind of waiting for the moment where we're going to play a real late game. You know, it's like, all right, when are we really going to play this game now? Like, he's just sitting there, like, with his ghost count. Like, now he's building more Marines and morals. Like, I guess we're still in the mid game. It's like Percival signed up for, like, a chess boxing event, but he only wants to play the chess. It's like, when's this guy going to stop punching me in the freaking face? Like, well, it's kind of in the rules, so that's also part of it. Kind of erroneously signed up there. He's just this weird army. Like, I don't understand what his plan is. Like, there's 30 mutas here. You have, like, 4 Marines. Seems to be a major thinking mistake. An error in the brain, so to say. And 5 more mutas coming out. Like, a Rogue is just consistently rebuilding those mutas and trying to go for high momentum plays. It's gonna definitely get this base. Like, this base is 100% toast. It's just not possible for this base to survive, even with the building armor, which is insane, by the way. Look at how slow these mutas kill that planetary. What the hell? Good old building armor. What an upgrade. What an upgrade. New CC is gonna fly over already. We have a backup planetary over here as well, which is great news. Force once again being added into the mix. I just think this is the correct call. I mean, you're fighting against 29 mutas. I would love to see continued, like, vehicle attack as well coming out. Vehicle weapons, rather than just the plating. I think it would be very useful. Instead, we're getting ship weapons. I mean, also probably useful. Feels like Percival is kind of feeling the vibes of like, hey, I'm actually dealing with mass Muta. Like, the fact that a couple of Ultras were, like, sprinkled in there, like, doesn't mean that this wasn't always mainly a Muta composition. I think at one point maybe we had, like, no Mutas left, and then boom, went back into Muta and never really left it. Because Rogue just looks at the situation like, you have 0 Thors. And like, you just keep losing freaking battles. And you keep losing stuff out on the map. Like, why would I ever transition out of my mass Muta comp if it's still working? Never change a winning team. And the moment it isn't winning anymore, Rogue changes it immediately. He's now taken this forward base that I thought was very unlikely for him to take. But he's done it. Right side base is under fire here as well. So Percival really mining off of 6 bases right now. Which, by really any stretch of the imagination, is still good enough usually in this type of scenario. I like his army comp here as well, with a couple of Marauders in the front to deal with these Banelings. I would love it more if we had maybe 1 or 2 more Liberators, a couple more Marauders in the front here as well. But this is honestly going quite fine. The main problem now is going to be these Mutalisks, because the turrets are being targeted down at a very rapid pace. Base is in a world of trouble as well. We have a bunch of ghosts that are now rotating towards the top side. Once those get into range, and you can get a couple of snipes off, that's obviously going to be a great moment here. At the same time, it does feel like Percival's doing an okay job over here, although his supply isn't even close to being maxed. The ghosts are too afraid to continue chasing, so this command center is going to end up falling. More lips are now showing up as well. Kind of do like that, but look at this Bioforce. There's 2 Marines and 2 Marauders. That is the Bioforce. That's not a very large force, is it? These ghosts are trying to get the snipes, and I think this is actually Rogue realizing it's not enough ghosts. He's like, hey, wait a second. It's nice that you got the snipes, but look at this, baby. I can right-click him all day, and then I can fly away. Not even gonna get a kill on an Overseer there. It's a great trade once again for Rogue, who's just honestly outplaying his opponent here with some great movement. Actually just some great movement. That's really all there is. Understanding of which fights to take and which fights not to take, as this base gets taken out. Like, Percival right now is such a pathetic-looking army again. But then again, I don't understand how this has been the case the entirety of the game. It's not like he had 95 SCVs. He was often on 75, 74 SCVs, but his army just always looked small and kind of puny. He had tiny little, like a cute army. You know, Rogue would pinch his cheek. Oh, cutie patootie. Come here with your ghosties. Yeah, bam! King. Acid on top of them from the mouth of the Muta. That's what he did. Bam! Glaives through your belly. Yeah. Well, he's pinching the cheeks and kicking him in the nuts. Hey, what the hell? Not what I signed up for. That's not what my aunt did to me, but the Rogue is crazy like that. Just gonna kill a majority of these Liberators as well. Doesn't actually have that much gas in the bank, which is something that almost might worry me. And this base is also one of the bases that is pretty important, as the Liberator's dealing quite a bit of damage here. They're not taking a lot of damage either. Look at that. This was freaking 12 Mutas or 10 Mutas attacking 1 Lib. Like, these Liberators with the level 3 vehicle plating are pretty strong. We also have the +2 ship weapons, of course. And in the end, Percival's going to get pushed back. The gas count is very low here, but this is kind of self-inflicted damage. We're not mining gas from here. We're now trying to take these gases here. This gas wasn't being mined from either. Percival taps out with a GG, and Rogue is going to win game number 1. Game 2 will be played on none other than Taito Citadel. A beautiful map, and look how paranoid Rogue is. That is the sign of a man that wants to win in a macro game. Look at this. Overlord went over here, looking for barracks. This one went to the right side, also looking for barracks. He's not sending anything across. He's just... This guy is just looking for extra information. Nothing else. Just wants the, wants the info as to where the hell the proxy barracks are positioned. And Percival's opening up with something a little bit weird here. When I say a little bit weird, this is extraordinarily weird. We don't really see this opener. Reactor first in Terran versus Zerg. So this could be for Reaper. Most likely is going to be for Marine. Because this guy is going to build effect. Whoa. Double barracks opener. Okay. Now we're cooking. Now we're starting to cook a little bit. And Rogue opens up with 6 links here. Probably gonna send them across the map, I'd reckon. We have 2 Marines out. Okay, these guys are here to snipe an Overlord. Except there's no Overlord to snipe. These guys are gonna be out of a job. Oh no. Gonna start looking for it up north. Might actually end up finding it at some point. No, Overlord's gonna make its way into the safe space. Did this get spotted? No way, right? Oh no, what a unfortunate little opener here for our good friend Percival. Oh, he was looking for trouble and he's gonna find it as these 6 links are showing up at the right moment at the right time. If you're Rogue, at the wrong moment at the wrong time. If you're Percival, 2 extra Marines are gonna show up. So this was a 3-for-2 trade, which is obviously great here for Rogue. Rogue kept his Overlord alive, saw that this was reactor first. We have a 3rd barracks that's being thrown down here as well. This is such an oddball opener, to be honest. We just don't see 3-Rex play like this anymore in really any matchup. Used to sometimes see it in TVP, but even there it's become fairly uncommon. We have a depot that's being built behind the mineral line. I don't know if this is to trick someone, but if it was to trick someone and that trick failed because it just got spotted. Oh my god, this is pure chaos. This is so freaking bad. So usually what we see in this type of situation is actually a Roach farm being plopped down. It's not a very uncommon strat here. It's actually quite a common strat, one could say. But instead we're going to get single Evo chamber into carapace. Also very doable and something we frequently see. I would still like to see some type of tech structure at some point. Just purely based on the fact that having a tech structure is nice against high Marine counts. The Marine count is going to be quite significant here. I think it's going to be single eBay, by the way. I think to kind of finish off this wall. We get a 3rd gas as well. This might just go into a 2-base all-in. Like starting with a 3-Rex into a 2-base all-in. I could absolutely see that work. 20 Marines moving across the map. Let's see what the plans are over here for our good friend Rogue. He's gonna scout this. See a bunch of Marines. This should probably trigger some type of warning signal for him. Yeah, like, hey, that's a very large Marine force. Hasn't started lair quite yet. Also hasn't started a baneling nest though. And I think it's actually gonna be a lair here. Look at this. Poof. Floop. There you go. Straight into a lair. We're 5 minutes and 3 seconds in. Link count is at 25. Marine count at 27. Of course, not all of those Marines are here. It's about 20-ish, 21 Marines or so that are here on this side of the map. As the links are now running in, Stim gets used and these links will die. The question is, will the queens die? No. Because these Marines just run away. Now they turn around. And back in. Okay. This was actually a pretty decent start here, I think, for Percival. 700 resources, lost to 300. We have an Overlord. That can be seen. That can be killed, right? I think so. We have more Marines reinforcing this position as well right now. And a 3rd CC gets thrown down here. So it's not going to be a very committed 2-base all-in. I mean, this is still fair, like way more committed than we usually see out of Terran players. This is good control as well with those Marines. Trying to make the best out of a pretty crappy situation there. Hatchery on the very north over here. Carapace level 1 is about to finish up here too. And the first 2 medevacs have now popped out. And 1 tank is going to join this initial push too. This is starting to feel a little bit weird. 26 Marines, 1 tank, and still we're only dealing with those Marines and that tank with pure Link Queen. I always feel like Links are great until they aren't, and I feel like we might have hit the they aren't spot at this point. Like I don't see how this 4th base is gonna get held. Okay, maybe with the queens it's possible. Oh, we get a good link flank. Oh no, this is gonna be super possible, I think. Good damage output out of these Marines, even without the +1 weapons. They're trying their hardest, but yeah, Links are just gonna clear that. Okay, that went. Oh my god, how many queens did he went? 13 queens. 14 queens. Pretty freaking crazy. How many queens can you have? Too many queens in the kitchen. Cooks in the kitchen. Queens don't spend a lot of time in the kitchen. Don't know what royalty actually does all day nowadays. Like there's no, you know, realm to rule, no kingdom to king over. Just kind of sit there and eat. That's what I'd be doing as well though if I was the king. Big fan of eating. Second Evo chamber comes out here. Okay, this was a bad start for Percival. For someone that is known for his timing sense, attacking before +1 probably was not it. Now he is still fighting against an army that, like, tech-wise is honestly just pathetic. Like, there's 0 banelings, there's no lurkers, no infestors. It's just pure Ling Hydra, which sounds like a good time until you fight against like 40 Marines or so. And it's gonna go 8 Rex as well here. Yeah, this is just a weird freaking game, let me tell you. This is the weird freaking game that Percival's playing here. He's down 30 supply. He's gonna go 8 Rex with 2-1 upgrades against someone that's playing pure Hydra Ling. I do not know why Rogue is doing this. I guess because he feels like he's so far ahead that it doesn't matter. I'm always so afraid when I see this type of stuff. Like, you take 1 bad fight, boom, game over. Well, okay, in this case maybe 2 bad fights, boom, game over. Maybe even 3 bad fights. Lurker then is coming down now as well. We're gonna see a hive. Yeah, I mean, Percival is just gonna push. And it's going to be a very... Oh, it's also Baneling Nest. Okay, you know, he's starting to respect the opponent a little bit. He's like, wait a second. Don't think you have a fort base. I'm starting to become afraid. Like, the army supplies are actually pretty close. The upgrades are going to be a little bit in favor, I think. Like maybe 10 seconds or so. What's this? 115. That's 20 seconds till it finishes. This is about 23 seconds until it finishes. Okay, so the upgrades are pretty much the same. This is actually a really scary army. Like, Queens freaking suck. They inflate supply, but they're terrible at fighting all around. And we're gonna get a fight in which the 5-second window where carapace is done, but +2 isn't, might actually matter a little bit. As these Queens are being shot at right now, and with the +2 carapace might manage to survive a bit longer. But Rogue just doesn't have anything to kill Marines, which is a serious issue if your opponent's army consists of 51 Marines. Queen Ling Hydra, 0 Banes, 0 Lurkers, no Infestors to stall. He does have another base that he could have taken or sent his drones to and given this up, but Rogue believed that he could hold. And he was wrong. GG gets called. Percival's gonna win game number 2 over here on Title Citadel. Tie up the series. And our final game is gonna be played here on Ruby Rock. As we see Percival opening up with a standard Reaper this time around. I cannot believe that actually worked. That had to be one of the worst openers I've seen in my life. He dealt 0. Actually, the first attack was okay, but then the follow-up was god-awful. Completely died in the arms of the Queen Ling. And then his follow-up 8 Rex just kind of won the game there, because Rogue, for whatever reason, decided to not build any splash whatsoever. And I feel like he realized his mistake, because you never go Lurker then and Baneling Nest at the same time. It's very rare to see. Like, if that Baneling Nest was legit a minute earlier, I think that push gets completely slaughtered. Another thing that Rogue probably could have done is given up that base, because he had a 5th that was mining somewhere else. Maybe go for a bit of a counterattack, try to pick off reinforcements. Like, there were a lot of options. It felt like Rogue just was so far ahead, and he felt so far ahead that he started playing like he couldn't lose anymore. As if he couldn't lose anymore. And, well, then Percival showed him it's definitely still possible to lose if you make plays like you just did, Rogue. So, yeah, well done, obviously, by Percival. He's going to try to jump in here. Oop, oop. Finds himself a warm welcome in the claws of the Zergling. He's going to get pushed back. 2 queens on the low ground. 1 queen coming up in the main as well. We have speed that's going to finish up relatively soon. This has been a kind of a modern development in the TVZ matchup, is that the speed is being rushed out much, much quicker. Oh my god. What is this? Double eBay rush. I'm never sure what to think of these builds. I personally really like watching it, and I think it's really fun to play as well. And it's kind of easy. But you do need to do something with these upgrades. You absolutely do. As 1-1 will start here right now. Look at that. 1-1 will start. I guess we're going to get like 4 Hellions or so. We have a very decent amount of Marines. 2 Marines is a very decent amount of Marines, I would call that. Absolutely. We get this orbital that's going to start here soon, I can only imagine. And then we get the tech lab behind all of this. Okay. Got ourselves. This needs to lift. This needs to lift. It didn't lift. Percival. Oh my god. What an absolutely terrible, terrible start here for the Terran player. He's getting completely outpaced by Rogue. Like, getting discounted is so ridiculously bad. It's not even funny. It is so bad. This is so bad because... Well, what does this tell you here as a Zerg right now? Okay, we have a crap ton of resources that are being sunk into these E-bays. That means I can probably tech the lair, get upgrades and drones all at the same time without a single worry in the world. I won't need to build any spore crawlers either to deal with any type of air harass. So that is another like a bunch of minerals that you save, a bunch of mining time on drones that otherwise would have turned into spores that you save. We're gonna go straight, boom, into a Roach Warren, which does surprise me a little bit. I'm not entirely sure what the Roach Warren is for, but it is being constructed, so you know. I guess we're gonna see soon. Get our starport coming up here right now as well. We need an armory, which is on the way, obviously. Percival wasn't born yesterday. This can't be some type of weird Roach all-in, right? No, I don't think so. Rogue doesn't strike me as the guy to go for something like that right now. He's adding some overlords though. Okay. Cloud Constitution? No, he is. 5 gas, 63 drone. He just straight went to that drone count, by the way. He's gonna get +1 carapace out. And say, hey, you have a fairly late setup going with your factory. How many tanks can you get? I guess that is what he's thinking here. Is we don't see a swap quite yet onto these buildings. Oh, it's gonna be a Hellbat? No. For a second I thought it was gonna be a Hellbat all in. These links are now coming in. It's gonna get 2-3 worker kills here at an instant. Well done. 3 SCVs do go down. Hellions try to poke up this ramp. There's 2 more barracks are coming in here too. Ay. What do we have over here, Mr. Marine? It's a lot of Marines. Might want to help your SCVs. Oh, this is gonna come as a serious surprise. Get a scan up here. I don't know what that scan was for. Is it if it was to clear creep or just to see what the hell was on top of the ramp? Yeah, Rogue just moving all of his stuff towards the top side right now. I am having a difficult time seeing Percival hold this. I did not think this was going to be a very effective way of playing, but boy was I wrong. No tanks out still. Like Percival completely in the dark as to what is happening. These roaches are just going to run past him. We have roaches at home to defend as well. Like this is just going to run in and kill. This is just going to run in and straight up kill. 97 army supply to 46. 2-2 halfway down. Combat shield not done quite yet. Carapace finishes up and here come the roaches. Here come the ravagers. The depots get lifted, but a couple of marines over on the third base is not going to be good enough. Defensively, Rogue is looking fantastic as well. And Percival is complete toast over here. Ay. The funny thing is that if Percival just holds his natural, he might even be in a good position, but he lowers the depots accidentally. Like, if he gets 2-2 upgrades at some point, like, he's going to rip through these units. Actually, it's not true. There's +1 carapace already, yeah. No, actually, there's no... This might have been the perfect plan here on the Rogue. I did not think he was going to go for the Roach all-in. And Percival was, well, even more surprised than I was. He went for the freaking reactor on that factory to pump out mines. The worst thing you can do against Roach Ravager, and didn't even get any out. 199 supply to 76. Quick Roach max here out of Rogue. So he walks up the ramp and will pick up this victory in this best of 3 with one nice long Muta Overseer macro game. But then also showing in game number 3 that he's still got some of that aggressive dog inside of him. As he wins it, takes it. And that is going to be it for me today. Thanks so much for watching. Hope you all enjoyed. If you did, don't forget to like button, subscribe to the channel. And I'll see all of you next time for a new video. Bye bye.